Hey, look, it's Kevin Durant. It has been 260 days since we've seen him in a basketball game. Tracy, what is the hardest part of rehabbing?
It's just doing the same thing over and over for hours out of the day. Yo,
Over.
seriously, every
And over.
day for hours.
And
the
over.
same drills, man.
I can feel that. I can
That
feel
was
that.
angst.
That was
That
like
was
oof.
real.
Yeah.
That was real. And plus, at this stage where he's at, we're like, you can move around. It's not like you have a cast anymore. It's not like you're on crutches anymore. You should
That's
be able
the fun
to do.
part right
oh,
there.
that
yeah,
okay.
like that's encouraging. You like, okay, I'm starting to get
Getting-
back into it, but before that,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I know he was miserable.
Yeah. Brutal. Welcome to The Jump. I'm Rachel Nichols. I'm here with our NBA insider, Zach Lowe. I'm here with our Hall of Famer, Tracy McGrady. Guys, we're having a little bit of an equipment malfunction in the studio today, so it's going to be a little bit more seat of our pants. I'm going to have to read some of this off the paper. Do you think I can do it?
I have faith.
Got this.
You have faith in me?
Not
Look at the
worried about you at all.
pretty logo, though. So let's see if I can. Coming up, Joel Embiid dropped 49 points, a career high last night. We will discuss that. And of course, as it relates to the news of Ben Simmons' back injury, stick around. But first, all right, so good teams, they usually find out a way to eke out a win in a close game. Bad teams, they often find a way to lose. That's because each game is made up of 100 different little mini games. Did the shot sneak in, or was it blocked? Did the pass get made, or did it go just a little bit too far and turn into a turnover? Bad teams win some of those games, but good teams, they win them more, which is what happened last night in Washington. Maybe the Wizards should have known it was going to be a rough night when Giannis and the Bucks, who like to enact elaborate wrestling skits with each other pregame, this time they turned their attention to the Wizards mascot and said, yeah, that's a lot there, Giannis, I think, with the win. This is, by the way, I don't know if it's a good time, but I have spent way too much time trying to figure out what the Wizards mascot is supposed to be.
G-Wiz.
His name
He's
is
just
G-Wiz. Maybe it sort of looks like if Gonzo the Muppet had a baby with a troll doll, right? That's nice. It's a family moment picture, maybe. It's all pretty endearing, but it did not. It did not deserve. G-Wiz did not deserve the heartbreak that was about to befall it, and neither, frankly, did Bradley Beal.
Sure, that
the
was his
Bucks
words.
have the best defense in the NBA. Beal still hitting from everywhere during this game. He was 8 of 13 from 3, shooting 58% overall. By the time it was over, he would finish with a career-high 55 points, which is even more remarkable when you consider that just the night before, he had dropped 53 points against the Bulls.
Ooh, buckets.
Even in a world of inflated scoring, 2 50-plus games on a back-to-back, that's kind of ridiculous. It's rare enough that it has only been done 6 times in all of NBA history. And the last time anyone did it was, of course, Kobe Bryant on back-to-back nights in 2007. Although Beal's accomplishment did not come in the same way, it came in a loss. Kobe's was 2 wins. The Wizards, yet another loss.
Antoine Jameson, too.
Yeah, there you go. In last night's game, Giannis fouled out of the game with about a minute and a half left, but Washington still could not take advantage. Watch this. Less than 10 seconds on the clock. Beal takes the ball down court.
That was a defensive tackle move right there.
I know, but he
Swing
found
move.
rookie Rui Hachimura. He was absurdly open under the basket, and somehow Robin Lopez swooped in from the foul line to make the block.
It's a great play.
That's fantastic speed. Speed from a Lopez brother. There you go. That pushed the game into overtime with the Wizards. They actually led that for a while. But again, good teams find a way. Here's Middleton with about 30 seconds left on the clock, burying the 3 after a rough few seconds for Shabazz Napier. Yep.
Just right over.
He was hurt.
The Wizards would have one more chance. Troy Brown Jr. with a decent look from the corner. Ball pops in and out.
Nice contest by
Woo.
Middleton.
Bucks win, Wizards lose. After the game, Beal was asked how it felt to have his second straight 50-point night.
Terrible, honestly. I'm a winner, so, you could throw those 55 out with the last 53.
Throw him out, T-Mac. Just throw him out.
No, brother.
Beal did say he does still hope
Going to that.
to make the playoffs. And in the East, that's not a totally crazy thought. The Wizards are in the number 9 spot right now.
Like 4 or 5 games.
Although they are 4 games, yes, behind Orlando in the loss column.
Quite a barn burner of a race there.
Could they really make that up with just 26 games left on the schedule? The problem is, to do that, they would need to win those little mini battles I was talking about. And as we saw last night, that's just not how it goes for this team. T-Mac, the man dropped 50 in back-to-back games on consecutive nights and still loses twice. Do you feel badly for Bradley Beal?
I do. I've been here before. The guy's in his prime years of his career, and he's playing outstanding right now for this franchise. And it's tough on him because John Wall has been out the last couple years. And when you don't have that other all-star, it is tough on your shoulders to deliver like this every night. And he's showing that, you know, he's having a winning attitude, his approach to the game, the way he's going about trying to get wins for this team, and it's just not transferring over. I mean, putting up these type of numbers, you would think, you know, they result in a win.
Just one, maybe.
Just at least one. You know, so you're not far. You're 4.5 games out from the A spot. But if you can't, if Bradley Beal is putting up 50-plus points and you lose to the Chicago Bulls, then I don't see you getting into the playoffs. Again, being in this situation in Orlando.
I was going to say, you were in Orlando, and Grant Hill was out.
And it was just unfortunate. Grant was dealing with his ankle injury. And I think playing those 4 years, and I don't blame Grant at all. I mean, it just happened. Playing those 4 years, having to do what I had to do in order for us to get to the playoffs, it really took a toll on me, and that's why my career kind of got cut
sidetracked,
short.
right? Absolutely. Do you feel bad for Bradley Beal?
Well, first of all, gee whiz didn't ask for any of that, let alone a cheap shot with the championship belt to the head. That seems uncalled for. Second of all, Bradley Beal is up to 30.1 points per game. I think it'd be kind of cool if he finished 30-plus for the season.
Absolutely.
I think he should go for it.
Yes.
Feel bad is strong. I understand his frustration, as you're saying. He is squarely in his prime. His co-star is injured, and frankly, given all the knee surgeries and now an Achilles tear, like, I don't really know what we should assume about John Wall going forward. If we're ever going to see John Wall as a star player again, I don't think you can say that definitively. Now, Bradley Beal does become trade eligible again in the summer. And if he really is frustrated and he really wants out, he would be not even close to the first star player to use his leverage to find a place where he can contend for championship.
But he did sign the extension before this season.
He did.
In a season where, frankly, he was looked at as potentially the most valuable trade chip of the entire year, right? If he hadn't signed the extension and was trade eligible this past February 7th, I think the bids would have come in on him for sure. He decided he wanted to stay. And part of that, in talking to him, was the idea of being the uncontested star, right? Of being the guy the offense would go through, of getting the chance to score 50-plus points on consecutive nights. He wanted that shot. He wanted to show people he was good enough to do it. But, T-Mac, the problem is you go out and do it and you don't have enough help. It doesn't lead to wins.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, he's playing great basketball, but he just doesn't have enough for that to result into to wins. And that could be frustrating. Yeah, you could go out, you could put up an average 30 points for the rest of this season, but if you're not winning, it really doesn't mean anything.
And there are interesting young players there. Like, I think Ruiz had a nice rookie year,
Absolutely.
Troy Brown's, but like those guys are years away from being like contributing to a championship kind of team.
Yes, absolutely. And to your point, I just don't know what we're getting from John Wall when he comes back. And we've seen with Gordon Hayward, we've seen with other guys, it's slow when you come back. It's not right away, no matter what he is. I want to talk about the Sixers a little bit more, too, because yesterday before their game, Woj reporting that Ben Simmons will be out for, quote, an undetermined period of time with a back injury. So this is not just a brief day-to-day thing. This is going to be a while. Joel Embiid promptly responded with a career-high 49 points, and here he is after the game.
Best player in the world, right?
I mean, I believe I am. But when I made that statement, I didn't actually say that I was. I said that, being with, some of the best players in the world and I proved myself. That's what I said. But yeah, my bad. I do believe it. When I play like tonight, anything can happen. And I also want to say sorry for what I did at the end of the game. Y'all probably saw that on TV. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Serena Winters there having no problem being like, best player in the world, right? That's what you said? Just checking on you. Zach, what do you think is the bigger news for the Sixers? The Ben Simmons injury news or the fact that Joel Embiid, with Ben out, was able to deliver this kind of performance?
I think it's the Simmons injury news. I mean, you can nitpick the fit between them as much as you want, but they need all their star players to really get where they want. They need both of them. And I think Joel Embiid is right that he has a chance to be in the conversation for best player in the world when he's at peak condition and playing as hard as he can. I think he is that dominant a defensive player. But I think start to finish this season, overall, Ben Simmons has been their best player. And he's the one reliable off-the-dribble kind of pace setter that they have. And if he's not healthy, it doesn't matter how many points Joel Embiid is going to score. They can't get where they want to go.
It's definitely Ben Simmons. I think if you look at what he does for this team, not from an offensive standpoint, from a pace standpoint, but defensively, he's one of the best defenders in this freaking league, being 6'10" and being able to guard multiple positions and do it at an elite fashion. You saw what he was able to do when Joel Embiid was out with his injury. I mean, he led the charge. Sixers were winning. He was playing great basketball, scoring, facilitating, rebounding, defending. Joel Embiid, if he can play this way when Ben Simmons is back, they are a championship contending team. But it hasn't been that way. He has to find, I'm not saying go out with Ben being out, go out and score 49 points. But if you look at a lot of these clips right here, where is he at? He's underneath the basket.
Well, there's more room there right now.
What you mean? Because
the other guy isn't there.
No,
well, but to T-Mac's point, though, right before Ben Simmons got injured, they made a change to their starting lineup to declutter the paint a little bit. And we just didn't, now that Ben's hurt again, we just haven't had a chance to see that. And I actually thought that was a move 100% worth trying, and I would like to see it play out.
Yes, and seemed to work until they ran into the Milwaukee Bucks.
To get where they want to go.
But Simmons got injured 2 minutes into the game.
Yes.
They're going to need Ben Simmons.
Absolutely. All right, coming up, the Heat have lost 6 of their last 8 games. Is there a cause for concern in Miami? We will check with the driver of the Bam wagon.
Rev it up.
Next after this. First, though, it's time for today's Distant Replay, brought to you by Marathon. This one, guys, is from this date in 2009, featuring Gerald Wallace.
Whoa, okay, G-Dub.
That was just casual with it, too.
Light the creamsicle Bobcat uniforms on fire.
That is just pretty close to
I mean,
Charlotte.
all the whole